Hi, this is Debbie, and I thought it'd be fun today to turn on the camera while using this new to me set. That's Hero Art's The Fox Says. I really wanted to copy colour the two little foxes there all snuggled up, so I'm going to start by taking the image and mounting it onto a acrylic block and then stamping in Memento Tuxedo Black because that ink is Copic friendly. And that means that the black won't bleed when I'm colouring. I've chosen some Foxy colours here in Y23, Y24 and Y27, and I've sped up the video while I colour, and I'm starting with the lightest colour, that's the Y23. I'm starting to mark out where the shading is going to be, where I want some deeper colours, and then I'm going to go in with the medium colour, that's Y24, and then finally in with Y27. As I colour, I'm also going to add some R11 to the insides of the ears and to add a little bit of blush on the fox's cheeks, and then some W1 to add a little bit of shading to the white areas because they wouldn't be true white, they would have a little bit of shading. I'm going to play some music now while I colour, but I'll be back soon. I wanted to add a little more depth to the colouring of the foxes, and I didn't have a copy colour that was dark enough in the orange line, so I actually went in with a little bit of W5, which gives depth of the colour, and when blended with the Y27 just creates a deeper orange to give the right shading. I cleaned up any of the areas where I'd gone out of the lines with the 0 blender marker, pushing the colour back onto the foxes. And then I've stamped the foxes again onto some post-it note and created a mask. The mask will protect the foxes while I stamp over the top of them with the foliage border. I'm placing that stamp onto my Visco stamp press and giving it a good coating of some olive ink from Simon Says Stamp, and then lining up on my grid mat so that I can get the foliage stamped. And I've given it a good press down. However, when I lift up the mask, I do realise that actually I've missed a little bit. I probably didn't press quite hard enough over the right hand side of the foxes there, and it's left a little bit of a gap. I've seen Jennifer Maguire use this technique before, which is to take a scoring tool and your ink pad and take a little of the ink onto your scoring tool and then dot it onto your project. And with this type of ink, which blends well into the paper, you really won't notice that you didn't actually quite stamp it perfectly in the first place. I've now replaced the mask over the foxes and added another post-it note to protect the bottom of my panel. And then I'm taking a mini ink blending tool and some distress inks in broken china and gently blending the ink over the foliage and the foxes. I'm tapping off onto some scratch paper at the side so that I've only got a little bit of the ink on the tool, and that gives that gently blended sky. I've been playing around with a few of the sentiments from the set and decided that I like the simple love you and that I was going to pop it up on a die cut speech bubble. I've cut the speech bubble from the Lawn Fawn into the wood set from some white card. I'm planning now where everything goes. I also want to add some hearts to the card, and I'm going to use a Copic marker to colour some white card and then die cut the holiday shapes dies from Simon Says Stamp out of that. Often little die cuts can get stuck inside the dies, and I use washi tape to help persuade them out of there. I ended up choosing the 3 smallest hearts, and now moving on to stamping the sentiment in Simon Says Stamp's black. As the die cuts on the front of the card are quite small, I've added some clear foam adhesive to the back of them, and then when you look at the card from the side you won't be able to see the foam adhesive peeking out. I've used some Lawn Fawn twine to add a bow to the bottom of the panel, tidied up the bow and then trimmed the ends. Now that the panel is more or less complete, I've trimmed it down to fit on a top folding card base. I'm using Nina Solar White in the 110 weight to give a nice sturdy card base, and I like to use the 4 bar size. That's roughly 3.5 by 4 7/8. To finish the card, I'm adding some glossy accents to the hearts and also to the fox noses to give a nice shine. And then at the moment I can't leave a project without a little bit of Zig Wink of Stella glitter pen. I'm giving the foxes a lovely coat of that, which gives them a nice shimmer. And that completes my card. I want to thank you for joining me today, and I will leave you with some photographs.